What do you think is the source of it? What do you like? Where did the Bible come from? Did it come from man's inherent understanding of his connection with God, and they wrote things down, and eventually became stories, or the real experiences that were divine?
I'll answer it this way. I think that anytime you go through any kind of loss or destruction or hardship, you have a better chance at seeing something you wouldn't if you came from nothing but comfort, safety, and something like the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So I think that I don't think anybody escapes suffering. I don't think anybody escapes some kind of ruin, some kind of loss, some kind of even age. You start to lose all the things you're proud of. And I think having to contend with that maybe and trying to derive meaning from that, because if you don't have that...
But hang on. So that's a person. Yeah. That's not God, right? So it's a person's experience with misery in life and reality led to the creation of the Bible?
I think I'm just talking about the idea that there are things that human beings are capable of. For example, conceiving of something that doesn't have any material relevance in the world, but that later on does. So let me give you an example. There are mathematicians that devote their entire life to a theorem. It's 350 pages long. They're 80 years old. 6 people in the world understand what it's about, and they end up dying. And in 150 years later, somebody's trying to put a rover on Mars, and they go, you know what? This equation actually is what I've been looking for and what we need to do such and such and such and such. So all of a sudden, it bears material reality. And I think that's an example of maybe something that is grounded in the human mind that doesn't have to have its roots in experience, doesn't have to have its roots in what you can touch and what you can measure, but rather what you can imagine. That's interesting to me. That's the difference between a human being, say, and ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. The idea that artificial intelligence is working on a model that already exists. It's sourcing from everything that's already been. Something like the theory of relativity, or something like a theoretical math theorem, or for that matter, even something that's really beautiful. I don't know what it would be, like the Sistine Chapel, right? That brings us to our knees because it surprises us, it shocks us. It goes beyond what we thought was possible. That I think is what's endlessly fascinating. And then I would say to you, why? What is it about the human brain that we have a mind that can actually conceive of something like that and wants to? What is it about our mind that seems to have limitless potential for understanding and for creativity? To what end? To what end? It's not just comfort. It's not just, so I can have more food and I can watch more stuff. Anybody who's had all that, sensation doesn't do the trick, man. You can follow all the sensation you want.
There also seems to be something with creating something as undeniably amazing and beautiful like St. Peter's Basilica. Mm-hmm. Where when you walk in there, it's so overwhelmingly beautiful that everyone gasps.
Yes.
And all these people are looking around. And isn't that, in a sense, doesn't that mimic the divine force of creation in the universe, right? Like,
yeah, you know what it does?
Human beings and their creativity and their mind and their effort to express that have created this awe-inspiring thing of beauty.
And you know what Schopenhauer and Nietzsche said about that? That is called, when you see great art like that, when you do great art, anything like that, when you say I had a feeling of awe, what you're really saying is I forgot I was human for a second. Or an hour or whatever, meaning you forget you have to go to the bathroom, you have to have sex, you have to eat, you have to make money. Something about that arrested development, that sort of in high relief, you kind of go, you're awed by something that is possible. There's this, it's like a majesty. It's like this thing where you just go, how do you not believe in God when I have this feeling, this feeling of inspiration, maybe. And so God, again, let's be careful with that. You know, I don't like to. I don't say Jesus. I'm just saying something bigger than myself.
Overwhelming power of the universe.
There might be a point. There might be a point to this. There might be something about like those two different ideas of power. There's power that makes me bow my head, I'm afraid of you, okay, which Pol Pot or Mao Zedong or Stalin had. And then there's the kind of power that Michael Jordan has, you know, where I look up and I want to be like you. And it's the same idea. So you see somebody who seems to do what you didn't think was possible. You watch Jordan in his prime. You know, you watch an amazing musician do something on a guitar like Jeff Beck and create a sound you hadn't heard, or the Sistine Chapel, or whatever it might be, and you just go, how did you do that, man? How the fuck did you do that?
And then there's a similar feeling that you get when you see mountains. Like if you are on a ridge and you're looking out and you're seeing these snow-capped mountains and a creek running through it and deer walking by, you're like, holy shit, is this beautiful?
Yes.
It's beautiful. And what is that thing about people? The recognition of beauty. Like, are we the only animal that recognizes beauty? Because we don't just recognize it, we value it so highly.
Yeah.
Whether it's a beautiful landscape or a beautiful car or a beautiful woman, a beautiful house. There's something about the way things look that to us is just awe-inspiring. And it
well, there's a whole body of, you know, romantic body of, you know, true a body of thought that says that beauty and truth are almost the same thing. You know how the Greeks define beauty? It's a beautiful way of doing it. In one word, harmony. And if you watch a cheetah run, that's what you're watching. You know, if you watch even symmetry on a human body, you watch somebody in slow motion doing what they do really well. A great boxer. You watch like Crawford or someone. There's something about where they place their feet, how they move their body. You just go, well, even the way a great athlete is built is a thing of beauty.
Sure, like martial arts, it really is an art form. Because when someone pulls it off in an amazing way, it is beautiful. It really is. There's no denying it.
Also, what it takes
when
to
Justin
do it.
Gaethje head kicked Dustin Poirier this weekend,
I know.
that was a thing of beauty.
I know.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Did you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It's the perfect kick.
Yep.
Amazing.
One
to land
little
that
detail.
on Dustin Poirier like that and KO him, amazing.